Hey everybody, welcome to Beer City Board Games. This is Clay, and it's been a while since I've seen you guys. Unfortunately, work continues to be very busy for me. Real life is continuing to get in the way of my stream schedule, and I don't want to make promises that I can't keep, and so being able to set a steady stream schedule is quite difficult at the time. And so I decided, you know what, for the time being at least, I'm going to change my focus a little bit and do some YouTube videos. At least with these YouTube videos, I can record later at night. I can do some editing on the weekends and kind of fit it in my spare time, and try to upload those at least. I'm gonna shoot for at least once a week, just to see if we can make that happen, just so I can at least continue to put some sort of content out. I've been missing that quite a bit lately. It's a good creative outlet for me, which I've definitely missed over the last couple of months. But I wanted to record at least this first video as sort of a bit of an update. I wanted to let you guys know what we've been up to, what we've been playing, and kind of some things that we're looking forward to in this next year. Starting off, some definitely exciting news, at least for Jen and I. We are not only going to be attending Gen Con this year, but we are also going to be making our first trip to the Origins Game Fair. And so that's going to be great. I can't wait to see what that convention is like. So far, Gen Con and Grand Con are the only two gaming conventions that I have ever attended. So it's going to be nice to kind of see how some of the different conventions kind of play out in comparison. Over this last year, we've actually had the opportunity to play quite a few new games, which has been really nice. At least new to us. They may not be new games. So the first one that I wanted to talk about was For Sale. We just recently played this one for the first time just a few weeks ago, I think, and it's a great filler game. I can't believe it took us this long to play it. We really like filler games. We have quite a few of them. It's a nice thing to have just on hand. They're super easy to break out and play with just about anybody. So that was a good one to finally get to the table. It's kind of a classic at this point. It's been around for quite a while. Great game. We also played Heaven and Ale recently, which was better than I thought it was going to be. Based on, it's one that I remember listening to the description of how the game played and thinking that it sounded great. And then I bought it and looked at it and thought that this is going to be dry, it's going to be boring. And it is dry, but the mechanisms in that game are pretty solid. Your monks brewing beer. There is sort of a it's not quite a time track in the sense that like Glenmore has a time track where you're moving around the board and grabbing up tiles and things. It's sort of similar in that way, but it does not. In games like Glenmore, the player in last place is the one that will go first. This does not have that. It's got kind of a neat system where you are trying to decide, okay, do I want to put stuff on the shaded side of my board to generate money, or do I want to put it on the light side of the board to generate resources? And trying to balance that out is a cool puzzle. We did have the chance to play Knit of Lear this year also, which is a great bidding card game where you are trying to collect sets of cards, different sets representing different factions of dwarves, and you collect these cards by bidding on a offering of cards at 3 different taverns throughout the course of a round. And what I find really cool about this game is the fact that you also have a 0 value token that you can use to bid, and when you bid with that 0 token, it allows you to add up the value of your 2 unused tokens, the 2 tokens that you did not use to bid this round. You're going to add those up and swap out your highest value one for an even higher value token, which means that you are going to be better equipped to win bids in the future. That makes for some really nice tension of, when do I want to make sure that I win a bid, and when am I okay saying I'm okay with taking a lower value card, or maybe a card that's not quite so great for me in this situation, because it will allow me to get a better coin for better bids down the road. It plays really quick, really easy to teach. There are some some of the cards do have some things that can kind of bog some folks down if they have not played a lot of games. And we did, even us who play quite a few games, did find ourselves having to check again, okay, what does this person do? What does that person do? Because while most of the cards you're collecting are pretty basic, there are some cards that you can acquire throughout the game based on collecting sets of each type of dwarf that will give you some kind of special ability or endgame scoring, things like that. But other than that, great game. Like I said, it is relatively easy to teach, so I don't have any trouble bringing this one out with folks who either don't play many games or are fairly new to gaming. Really enjoyed that one. We also have played Spicy recently, which is a really fun bluffing card game. Generally, I don't care for bluffing card games that much, but this one I thought was pretty good. It felt like there was less pressure on me when I did try to bluff, because the pressure kind of falls on the person that is trying to call you out. So what you're doing is you're playing cards on a stack, and you are trying to place a number that is higher than the one before it. And so, you can say, and it's got, I believe, 3 different spices, maybe 4. But basically what you're saying is, this is a 2 pepper. And then somebody will play, this is a 3 pepper. And then somebody else will play, this is a 4 pepper. And somebody can go, I don't believe that's a 4 pepper. But they have to choose which they're going to call you on. Is it not actually a 4, or is it not actually a pepper? And so that puts some of that pressure on the person calling you out, rather than all being on the person who's trying to bluff. And I think that's what helps me enjoy this game a little bit more. Taking some of that pressure off of me trying to lie to my friends, and putting some of it on the person that's trying to call me out. I really liked it. I thought the production's really nice. I do like those gold foil cards. They do look pretty nice. I like the artwork on it. Yeah, great game. Good social game when you are, just sitting around the table, maybe having a few drinks and you want a nice social game. I think Spicy is a good one. In the same vein of excellent card games for social situations, we did play Scout recently also, which is a great little ladder climbing game where you are trying to shed all of the cards in your hand by playing either sets or runs of cards onto the table in front of you. There are some rules about capturing cards from other players if you play a set higher than them, and there's also rules for taking cards that other players have laid so that you can add them to your hand to create a better hand of cards for you to be able to play. This one was another one that, once it hit the table, we played it multiple times, and it really worked well in kind of a lighter game night type situation. We had the opportunity to play Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition recently also. It's sort of a mashup between Terraforming Mars and Race for the Galaxy. The follow mechanism, the follow action selection mechanism, I think is great. I love it in Twilight Imperium. I love it in Puerto Rico and San Juan and Race for the Galaxy. And this game does it very well. It takes a lot of what I like about Terraforming Mars and strips out a lot of the complexities. So, a lot of the kind of additional scoring things that didn't necessarily overcomplicate Terraforming Mars that much, but it just kind of, it streamlines it by taking all that out, and really it's just based on your card play and being able to maximize your turns specifically by being able to kind of piggyback off of what another player is doing. Being able to kind of guess what they're going to be up to that round and playing a card that will allow you to additionally benefit in some way. So Ares Expedition, great. I don't know that I will play Terraforming Mars very much now that we have that one. Honestly, I think at this point I will probably just prefer to play Ares Expedition. New big game that we have played, and so far my favorite of the new games that we have played is definitely Ark Nova. This is a game all about building a zoo. It's got a lot of mechanisms from that in common with a lot of games that I really enjoy, such as the kind of card river system that I first played in Civilization: A New Dawn. I really liked that part of that game. I just wished that the system was used in a better game. Civilization: A New Dawn for me was good. I still have it, but I don't play it very often. It doesn't excite me as much as Ark Nova does. But basically, with this system, you have a row of cards in front of you, and where that card is in the row determines its power. Now, you can take a card from a slot in that row and play it at the power level that the card was at, and then move it to the back of the line, and all the rest of the cards are going to shift up, making other cards more powerful now. At some point during the game, you will also be able to flip cards to an upgraded side, which will give you even better abilities. Ark Nova also shares a scoring track mechanism that I really loved from Rajas of the Ganges, where in Ark Nova in particular, you are trying to get your appeal points, which are going one way around the board, to cross over with your conservation points, which are going another direction. And once those 2 points meet or pass each other, that triggers the end of the game. And your score is the difference between how far they've passed each other, which is a really neat way to do it. You can kind of figure out where you want to focus your attention. Do you want to focus more on appeal? Appeal is basically how you're going to get a higher income each round, but the conservation points allow you to move up that track quicker, although they are more difficult to get. So it's a really cool mechanism, great game. It has a lot of similar card play situations as Terraforming Mars. So again, between Ares Expedition and Ark Nova, I don't really know if I'm going to play Terraforming Mars very much after this year. I may keep it around for a little bit yet. Maybe I just need to play it again just to remember what I liked about it. And then finally, a new expansion that we had a chance to play this year was Last Waltz, the expansion for Grand Austria Hotel. Grand Austria was one of Jen's favorite games for a very long time. And so when Last Waltz hit Kickstarter, we instantly backed it. And I'm glad we did. I think Last Waltz has a lot of really cool things going for it. It adds a lot of new options. So that it adds, rather than just sending your visitors to a room that you've prepared in your hotel, now you also have the option to send them to the ballroom, or one of 3 ballrooms, rather. And these different ballrooms are going to score in different ways at different points throughout the game. Basically, whenever an emperor scoring happens, we're also going to score these ballrooms. There's a pretty steep penalty if you don't make it into a ballroom, which I kind of wish wasn't there, just because it feels like it's taking away the choice of being able to go there. You kind of, it feels like a pretty steep penalty if you decide not to go there. If you decide not to go there, you kind of have to make up a lot of points elsewhere to try and keep up with that difference. Because not only are you missing out on the big points that you can score from making it into a ballroom, but you're also losing points for not being in there. So it feels like it's really kind of pushing you in that direction, rather than giving you an option. But I do like the options. The different ballrooms score in different ways, which is really cool. There's quite a bit of variety there between the ballrooms that when they score, it's gonna some are gonna be more based on like a area control type thing. Some are based on trying to get ones in different levels in that room, things like that. There are a few other modules as well. One which adds celebrities, which are guests that you can get into your hotel that will give you a bonus that some sort of special ability, special thing that you can do that round, and you really want to use them because they don't stick around past that round that you acquired them. So those were pretty neat. Few other things as well. It does change. There is an option now to change the way that turn structure works. So in the original Grand Austria Hotel, and if you don't know, Grand Austria Hotel is a dice drafting action selection game where you're going to roll dice, and depending on those numbers of dice and where they that's going to determine how powerful of an action you can do. So there's a action associated with the number 1, and the number of ones that you roll that round determines how powerful that number 1 action can be. And in the original game, the turns were kind of in a snake draft style. So it would go first player, second player, third player, second player, first player. Which I didn't mind in the original game. But with adding... I had heard people saying that they disliked the amount of downtime, especially if you are the first player. Waiting for it to come back to your turn can feel like it takes quite a while. And that didn't really bother me too much in the original game. But with the Let's Waltz expansion, the fact that it adds so many new choices and things to consider. It did slow turns down a little bit, enough to where it was very noticeable to me the amount of time that I had to wait between my turns as the first player in particular. So we did not play with the updated turn structure rules. We stuck to the snake draft because generally we liked that in the original game. But I believe that going forward, if we were to play that expansion again, especially with all of the modules like we did last time, I think I would switch the turn structure to just a simple around the table style turns. I think that would help cut down on the amount of time in between pretty significantly, at least enough that it would not feel like it was quite so long in between. So those are some of the big games that we have played this year, things that that we really enjoyed. I also have a list of a few games that I am really looking forward to playing soon. In particular, just today we picked up Meadow, which I know has been getting a lot of buzz. Sounds like folks are really enjoying this one, so I'm really looking forward to trying that one out. Also picked up Brian Boru, High King of Ireland, which is an interesting mashup between a trick-taking game with area control, which sounds really unique. And if there's one thing I really like, it's uniqueness in games. You know, things that kind of make you go, wow, I've never seen that before. I wonder how that works. And as soon as I heard about this game, this was definitely one that I wanted to check out. Luna Capital is another one. That's one that we actually picked up at Gen Con last year and have not had a chance to get to the table yet. But I would really like to check that one out. We did get a brief demo of it at the DeVere booth, and it was a lot of fun seeing how that game played. So I can't wait to actually get a full game of that one in. Plus, I love the artwork. It's very, very kind of whimsical retro looking artwork, and I can't wait to check that one out. On the heavier end, we did just pick up on Mars not too long ago either. Still haven't gotten that one to the table, but I've heard some great things about that. And Jen and I, while we don't play Lacerda games very often, just because of their the fact that they are so heavy, you know, we're always excited to check out a new one. We both really enjoyed Vinos. We've played The Gallerist and CO2 Second Chance. And so I'm really looking forward to seeing On Mars how that one plays. It's another one that's, you know, gotten a lot of great reviews. And if it's a Lacerda with great reviews, I'm definitely interested. Can't wait to try it out. Another game that's been sitting on my shelf for a little bit that I'm hoping to get played here soon is Blitzkrieg, the Paulo Mori World War II in 20 minutes game. This one sounds like a really, really streamlined, almost like a super, super streamlined version of Twilight Struggle, where you are trying to, it's kind of a tug of war thing where you are taking certain actions to pull influence one way, somebody else is pulling influence another way, and at the end of the day, you're trying to win these different theaters of war. It sounds great. It sounds like a fun little... it sounds like boy, I hate it. I really don't want to call it a war game, but it really kind of, I mean, it's got a war theme at least. And I don't own too many games with that theme. So I'm curious to check that one out. The mechanisms sound like a lot of fun. I would like to try Caesar as well, which looks like it's very similar, but changes just enough things to make it unique from Blitzkrieg. And so I'd really like to check out both of them. And then an expansion that I'm really looking forward to getting to the table would be Dune Imperium Rise of X. We've had that on the shelf for not too long. Just picked it up maybe a month or so ago, but have not had the opportunity to get that one played either. But that is one that I'm definitely looking forward to. I've heard great things. My friend Carl has highly recommended this one to me. So can't wait to check that one out. It sounds like it does some pretty cool things with the Dune Imperium game. Yeah, so that's what we've been playing so far. That's some things that we're looking forward to, and outside of that, just make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you don't miss any videos when I do put them out. Be sure to check out Beer City Board Games on Instagram. We're on Facebook. We are on Twitter, although I don't tend to check Twitter very often. So best place to find us would be YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Also, don't forget to head over to Twitch and follow the channel over there. While we're not doing any streaming currently, we do plan on going back to live streaming on Twitch sometime in the future. So go ahead and give us a follow over there, and you will know when we go live. But other than that, I hope everybody has a great year, and we will see you soon. Cheers.